Is for Allah, nothing but Allah. Ba is the beginning of Bismillah. Ta is for taqwa, bewaring of Allah. And Tha is for thawab, a reward. Ja is for Jannah, the garden of paradise. Ha is for Hajj, the blessed pilgrimage. Kha is for Khatem, the seal of the prophethood given to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to today's edition of Pathway to Jannah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin, we are still in this season, and the theme for this season is still parenting. Today we're going to talk about gadgets and parenting. How do we manage both? We know that technology has impact in virtually all aspects of our life. How does it affect parenting? Inshallah, when I bring in my guests during the chat segment, we're going to have a robust discussion on gadgets and parenting. Stay tuned. Welcome back. The program is still Pathway to Jannah. If you're just joining us, we're about to start the discussion on gadgets and parenting. And in the studio with me today is Mrs. Shakiro Olajobi. She's the CEO, Brady Care Educational Services. You're most welcome. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. Wa alaikum salam wa barakatuh. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome, ma. Gadgets. When we talk about gadgets in parenting, does it mean all home appliances, or there are specific gadgets we should be talking about?
Well, so when we say gadgets in parenting, we are referring to the laptop, phone, and in some cases the TV as well. You know, mostly the electronic entertainment appliances.
Okay.
Of course, it doesn't refer to all those other things in the home. So it's not all home appliances, just the ones that are usually, especially the visual ones, and sometimes the ones that use audio as well. Yes.
Okay. But looking at, before we dwell on that, I want to look at another angle to this, talking about gadgets. Sometimes these gadgets make our work easier, and then peradventure, in the same way, makes parenting easy.
Well, I would say that generally everything has its good and bad side. So gadgets also have their good sides, and they make some part of our lives easier. But again, as Islam has laid down for us, Islam is a justly balanced nation, ummatan wasato. So it's for us not to overuse any. So as much as these gadgets are useful to us, they come very dangerous when we overuse them or allow ourselves or our children to get addicted to them.
Now, before we dwell on those ones, because we are likely to talk more about the negative impact of these gadgets. But let's look at the positive side first. What are the positive sides?
Okay, there are definitely positive sides. Let's look at let's say the TV or the laptop or the phones. When you connect them to the internet, you can gain access to a whole lot of things. In those days, before all of these modern gadgets came, if you had to listen to the Quran and you wanted to listen to any of the well-known reciters, you have to go all the way to the markets, look for their cassettes. But these days, you can just download it very easily. So even for Muraja, for Quran revision for our children, it makes life easier. You want to access some materials from any part of the world, you can go online and just get them. You know, so technology has helped to bring the entire world into our homes, and those are part of the advantages. And they also help us it can make easier the work of multitasking. Okay. So there are certain times that you just want to do something. Instead of you have to go through the rigorous process of writing it out or something, you can easily just snap it on your phone and you have it there. Or you can even do a voice note quickly and send it to somebody. So it makes life easier, and we're able to achieve some things in a shorter time using these gadgets.
Okay, due to work-life demands, as we work as parents, we tend to get less attention. We tend to give less attention to our children sometimes.
Yes.
Is there any way gadgets or technology, in this sense, could assist us? Could we parent our children using technology or gadgets?
Okay, that's a funny question, but yes, it's possible. Even though the honest truth is, there is nothing that can be comparable to quality time with our children. But we can make use of these gadgets to our own advantage. For example, if you are in a faraway state, or you're even in another country for a period of time, you can interact with your children. You can do WhatsApp video calls every evening when they're back from school so they can see mommy or daddy. So that's a good way of using the gadgets. But of course, the gadgets cannot parent our children. We must do the job ourselves. We can just use the gadgets to make life easier.
All right. Now, schools encourage virtual learning. Before now, what we have is chalkboard. In fact, then it was blackboard. Before we now talk about marker boards. Now we talk about virtual learning.
Yeah.
Schools encourage that. So we have our children, they have access to gadgets, phones, laptops, tabs and all that. Now, there's this tendency to abuse this, most especially among parents. How do you encourage, what do you advise to schools? How should they regulate this?
Well, I think that already there's been a lot of abuse and overuse of these gadgets, both in the schools and the home. Because as much as it's a technology-driven age and we should embrace these tools, we shouldn't allow them to use us. We should make use of them instead. So as much as we want to move from the whiteboard markers to the interactive boards, we should understand that they also come with their own disadvantages too. They come with their own challenges too. For example, one of the things that we've observed is that we now have a much higher number of incidents of children with attention deficit hyperactivity disorders. So you see the increased number of cases of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is so bad now because the children tend to be overexposed. The electrons or the things that are being emitted from these gadgets, what it does to the brain is it keeps the brain excited. So when a child is watching something all day long, they're in school, they're using electronic boards, they're using projectors, they're at home, they're watching TV almost all through, and gone are the days of they'll soon close. These days, most stations operate 24/7. So the children are constantly being exposed to a higher level of excitement, so anything below that will bore them. So if you've observed, a lot of children are they get bored very easily. Any small thing, I'm bored. This, I'm bored. And that's why we're having cases of depression and all sorts of emotional health problems. Because even when you tell a child to pick up their book to read, they're bored. Stay at home, they're bored. Everything bores them because all these gadgets keep them constantly in a higher level. It's almost like you're inhaling or smoking something. So they go to a higher level of excitement. To now come down to the regular human level becomes tough. Yeah. And you see, schools are constantly in a kind of schools now feel, we must live up to expectations. So the schools are gradually moving the learning process into a digitalized, structure where almost every class is digitalized. While I'm not against this, because yes, we must embrace technology, we should understand that schools are meant to help children to become develop the innovation mentality, not to become end users. They shouldn't just be end users of technology. They should become inventors. They should not have the consumers mindset. They should have the producer's mindset. So how many of our children are learning programming or coding or other things that can actually help them to improve on these current gadgets? But a lot of times we're at the receiving end, we're just the consumers. We're just consuming these gadgets and the children are just getting unnecessarily excited.
So apart from the schools introducing this gadget or because of virtual learning, are there other things that could that could necessitate or that could cause this addiction that the students are gradually tilting towards?
Oh yes, definitely. The number of hours that children are exposed to gadgets is rather unbelievably high. That's
the short response. I know I'm going to get the fuller version of the response after this short break. We are taking a short break now to continue our discussion on gadgets and parenting. Stay tuned.
Ames Media an integrated media company with core focus in broadcast content, with an array of programs from our stable to meet the yearning of our target audience that cuts across. The Magnet, a half-hour business magazine program to share from the wealth of knowledge of veterans while mentoring the young ones. Quality parenting has been the bane to raising good children and citizens in the society. Child Quest provide tips to parents on how best to nurture the child. For our culture and language not to go into extinction, from the stable of Ames Media Company Limited, we bring you in Kotokonwa, a Yoruba magazine program. Our school training program continues to work stronger as we navigate from one Lagos State educational district to another, adding value to the student and future broadcasters. We seek your partnership, collaboration, and sponsorship on these programs and many more. Your event is better captured by our media crew with wealth of experience and professional panache. For details, call 0802 3069 388. Ames Media, truly turning your dreams into reality.
You welcome back. The program is still Pathway to Jannah, and I still have in the studio here with me Mrs. Shakirola Jobi, an educational psychologist, discussing gadget and parenting with us. Now, to continue our discussion from where we stopped, we're talking about virtual learning, talking about what makes children addicted, apart from the fact that they use this gadget in school. What are other things that could cause this addiction?
They use it all the time. That's what causes, addiction is usually as a result of overuse of any substance. Yes. They use it all the time. So they get into their parents' car from school. The first thing is they take mommy's phone or they take daddy's phone. I see so many of it. You see the way children use their parents' gadgets and you wonder. That's when exactly, in fact, if you're a visitor, you go to a home and you sit down, as you're sitting, you're dropping your phone, the child in the house is picking the phone and you're wondering what's going on. So they use the phone all the time. Even little children, age 2, age 3, they can put on and off a phone. They know where to go to YouTube. They know where to go to the game park.
Even download apps.
To download apps. They know everything about. So they have excessive exposure to these gadgets, and that's what makes them get addicted to it.
Now, what are the harmful effects? Let's look at it from all angles.
The harmful effects are really a lot. It's definitely addictive, and that affects both the emotional and physical health. So when we say emotional health, the children get so addicted to it, they can't seem to be able to do anything if they don't have a phone or a tab with them. They always want to use it. Even adults are getting addicted these days. You hold your phone and without receiving any call or any alert, you just keep opening, just keep unlocking, just keep checking for what? So if we could have a video showing our daily lives to us, we'll be shocked to realize the way we behave with our phones. You see people driving on the road there with their phones, they're checking. There's
nothing to check,
nothing
really.
To check. They're just checking. Some people check their phones uncountable number of times in a day. So the harmful effect is that it causes addiction, which by the time you check the effect and all of the things associated with addiction is exactly the same, if not worse. Research has actually shown that the impact of phone and gadget addiction is worse than the effect of cocaine, heroin on the body.
That's great.
Yes, you find that rather strange, but it's the truth. So when you now try to take phones away from these people, they get very jittery, they get very uncomfortable, their phone battery goes down, they're looking for every possible means to charge. I need to charge my phone. What's going on? We should be able to do it without our phones for several hours in a day. And even sometimes people will wonder that, you're not responding to your messages as soon as I sent it. And I'm like, hello, there's a life outside the phone. I'm not supposed to be
with the phone every time.
With my phone 24/7, So all of those things are quite harmful. Apart from the emotional harm, it also affects us physically. So you see some people, they sleep with the phone, they want to charge it, they're charging beside their head. It's always around. And
there are lots of accidents.
Accidents. Sometimes these phones are overcharged. We've had cases where the phone actually blew up or something and it was just by somebody's head. So when we want to charge our gadgets, we should charge them away from us. So a lot of times they're close to us and they emit all sorts of radiations and we hear all sorts of strange illnesses. And of course, what it has also done again to us, our mind, our memories, it makes us very forgetful. We're very forgetful these days. We're not as deep and as smart as we used to be. Rather than trying to quickly put together, what's 15 plus 27?
Pick up a calculator.
Use your phone. Because the phone is a calculator, is a this, is a that. So a lot of times you find that we use the brain less and less. And the brain is a muscle. With less use, the muscle weakens to a level where we can't even do a lot with our own thinking process anymore. So the disadvantages are enormous.
The program is still Pathway to Jannah. We are taking a short break to the other segments we have now. Stay tuned.
The Ansarudin High School Student Association, AHOSA, is an association of old students of the school who have dedicated themselves to the pursuit of the development of their alma mater in particular and humanity in general. It comprises people of integrity that cut across various fields of human endeavors. Over time, the association has been working assiduously in mentoring pupils and providing infrastructure worth millions of naira in the area of refurbishing science laboratories, home economics and catering classes, and donation of ICT center to the school. Saturday, 12th of September 2020 saw the gathering of the old students of Ansarudin High School at the exotic Radisson Hotel, Ikeja, where they had a breakfast meeting to explore on their 60th anniversary that is coming up February 2021. The event commenced in earnest with the opening prayer, which was done by Alhaji Imam Bello, and was followed with the opening remark given by Alhaji Rafiu ABT, Chairman 60th Anniversary Committee.
We thank God today that that dream, that input has produced doctors, has produced surgeons, has produced one of the greatest transplants from this same school in Nasut, has produced great people too. You very rarely find associations like AOSA. Even the Lagos State government said that. In a couple of months we'll be 60. What are we going to do? What landmark, what milestone do we want to pull down? There will be presentations. There will be a book about the school. There will be a honors hall of fame. How much can we put down to create a wholesome association that can move the school forward?
Mr. Yomi Makinwa, who is one of the senior staff of Explicit Communication, gave a presentation on the proposed activities for the anniversary celebration with the theme, Network of Possibilities.
The legacy of the school should be accentuated and presented in a great way. There's going to be a fundraiser, which the chairman duly mentioned. One of the things that we're going to consider is COVID-19. Coming here today, everybody has to wear a mask. If you don't wear a mask, you're not going to get into any place, any organization. So the first concept, the idea that we're coming up with is topical. COVID-19 is around. And those who built the school are teachers, principals, who worked hard to build us, to mold us, all of us, to inspire us, to put us, to make us who we are today. And they say that teachers' rewards are in heaven. I don't believe that personally, but I think that we should identify them and reward them. We are going to create awards and plaques in different categories. This, like I said, this is a work in progress. So it's going to be fleshed up, where we're going to reward old staff, teaching staff, principals that have contributed immensely to the school. So one of the highlights of the anniversary would be the gala night. Then the book launch. A book has already been written, and so there will be a book launch. There will be a 6th anniversary lecture. We also have this concept called My School and I at 60. So we have this concept called First 10, Present 10. It's also bridging the gap.
The sum of 100 million naira is proposed to be raised by the whole students and all stakeholders, and the floor was open for suggestions and observations about the 100 million fundraising, which some people reacted to.
We are looking at approximately 5 months. That's the top order, as we say, for you to be able to marshal out all these programs and implement them within 5 months period. I think it may be good for us to go back to the drawing table and look at those things that are actually achievable.
We know that it's a very ambitious plan, and we are convinced that there are things that we can achieve. We know that we're not going to do everything. We're going to pick things that we're going to do, and it is the reason why we have summoned this stakeholder engagement, so to say, for us to pick the things that are realistic.
We need to give the founding fathers of Ansarudin Society a great shock of whatever we want to do for this 60th anniversary.
Mr. Owolabi Odeshola made a presentation in the proposed short film as part of the anniversary celebration, which was immediately followed by Mr. Obed Awuwede's presentation hinging on having a book to collate the full history of the school.
One of the things, the committee had in mind is to do some commemorative video as part of efforts to celebrate the day. And then between the two of us, and we shared ideas as per how this will go. I said to him, well, what we had in mind after the deliberations is to have like a 25-minute film that will that would fit into the anniversary proper, chronicling the history of Ansarudin High School, looking at the quality of products that the school had produced over the course of 60 years.
The whole idea is to get from them stories of the school, their encounters at school, what the school taught them, the culture, of course, snippets of the history as they know them. But in biography, you actually go a lot deeper. So we intend that this book will be a document of record.
The national president of Ansarudin High School Old Student Association, AHOSA, Mr. Rafiu Williams, gave the presentation on the next step of the upcoming event.
I'm encouraged by what I have heard from Alajebiti, from what Barrister Sheriff has said, and what a few other people have said as well. But key I want us to go away with is to go with the mindset that the work starts now. We don't have any other option to do. There are things that can run together in terms of time. We run all those together. So it is time for us to say kudos and also have all these documents. If you ask why are we doing this, it is obvious. It is to put on record that we need everybody to come on board, please. I'm appealing, I'm begging. It is going to be a success because we can do it.
The pre-event sensitization of Ansarudin's 60th anniversary elicited some comments, and the feedback was captured with interaction of guests with the Ames Media crew.
This event, really and truly, I'm impressed. I want to believe that it's doable. We should be able to. There are some people that actually sacrificed for us to enjoy what we enjoy in the school, the opportunity to be educated.
I think it's awesome. I'm not surprised because it's a formidable association. They have always been wonderful in terms of putting back into the school. I think I would advise other associations to borrow a leaf from them.
Oh, it's a wonderful event. I thank God that I am able to witness this in my lifetime. The association had come to another level. May God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, spare, endow the old students who are doing this. May we go places.
I was part of it, and what we have had here this morning is an eye-opener to what we expect to have when we celebrate the milestone, the 60th milestone of our alma mater. We have planned a series of events and programs to make the occasion get the necessary credence and accolade that it deserves. We're looking forward to a very good occasion. We are looking forward to raising substantial amounts so that whatever we realize will be plowed back into the school.
I'm happy to be part of this. Ansarudin High School Students Association, it's not just an association, it's like a family. We are appealing to everybody to come on board. It's like a family gathering. The 60th anniversary is going to be a family gathering, bringing everybody together. And if you are part of a family and you don't contribute to the success of that family, it's not a good thing. So our appeal is that everybody should come on board and support so that we have a successful, a memorable event. that we will not forget for a very long time.
The gathering, as you will see, basically is more or less an impromptu gathering, and yet we have this huge number of people representing different sets of the school, and what we have come to do is to set the ground and the ball rolling, for the coming 68th anniversary.
It was well attended. B, well attended in terms of representation, and B, in terms of people's inputs into it, and also in terms of the outcome, which is the buy-in of the people, that the members that participated. So it met all my expectations.
The event, it's a good one, well organized, and the purpose of this event is to bring all the stakeholders of the association together so that we can brainstorm on how we're going to prepare for the 60th anniversary of our school. So it's a laudable event, and I think I enjoyed it.
The closing prayer was done by Mrs. Ediale Toyin. We wish her hosts more successes in future as they continue to lend a voice to contemporary issues and development of educational sector.
You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, the program is still Pathway to Jannah. And we had in the studio today Mrs. Shakiro Olajobi, an educational psychologist. She discussed something very, very terrifying. That's the way I can say it. For us to have kids of less than 10 being addicted to pornography as a result of their exposure to gadgets. We discussed gadgets and parenting. A lot has to be done, from regulation, from counseling, to very many other things that we could even think of to ensure that in parenting our children, they are not overly exposed to this technology that is gradually becoming an enemy to the family and the world at large. May Allah save us from this. Till we meet, inshallah, same time, same station. Biqudratillahi ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Every second I live, every penny I give is just for you. Every breath I breathe, every trace I leave is just for you.